So today we are making a very typical dessert from the north of Spain, Leche Frita, which literally translates to fried milk. This is one of the most delicious desserts ever. It is made with the most basic ingredients. It requires no special equipment or special cooking skills, and the flavors are absolutely beautiful. Once again, like I always tell you guys, this is what Spanish cuisine is all about, where simplicity meets extraordinary. So let's just dive right into this recipe. I'm gonna grab a non-stick saute pan. You can also use a large non-stick frying pan here. Add in 3 cups of milk. Now the milk I'm using is 2% fat milk. You can also use whole fat milk here. Add in 1 cinnamon stick and 4 lemon peels. I'm gonna hit this to a medium heat and get in there and give it a quick mix. Very important, before you add your lemon peels into the milk, make sure there's no white pith in there, as it gives it a bitter flavor. If you do have some white pith on your peels, you can just easily scrape it off with a butter knife. Once this comes to a light boil, I'm gonna turn off the heat and I'm gonna let this sit here for about 20 minutes. That way all these flavors can infuse together. While our milk is infusing, I'm gonna add in 1 cup of milk into a bowl and start slowly adding in half a cup of cornstarch while you whisk it all together. For the next step, I'm gonna grab a casserole dish. The size of this one is 10 inches by 6 inches. I'm gonna add in about 1 teaspoon of sunflower oil and brush it all around. This is just to ensure that when we add in our milk mixture in there, it doesn't stick to the casserole dish. All right, let's move back to our infused milk. It's been here for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna remove the lemon peels and the cinnamon stick. Heat it with a medium to low medium heat. Add in the 1 cup of milk that's been whisked in with the cornstarch and start whisking this all together. And at the same time, I'm gonna slowly add in half a cup of granulated sugar. Once all the sugar's been incorporated into the milk, I'm gonna continue to whisk this together until we end up with a beautiful thick creamy texture. After about 25 minutes and you end up with this beautiful creamy texture, I'm gonna turn off the heat. And that's the exact texture you want from this cream. I'm gonna transfer this into the casserole dish. Once again, very important that you grease that casserole dish or even add some parchment paper underneath. And I'm gonna let this sit here at room temperature until it cools off. Once it's cooled off, I'm gonna cover it with saran wrap and add it into the fridge between 2 to 3 hours. This is enough time for this milk mixture to harden up. After a couple hours, I'm gonna remove the milk mixture from the fridge. Now to easily transfer our milk mixture into a cutting board, I'm gonna place a cutting board over the casserole dish and invert it. And I'm gonna cut this thickened up milk mixture into squares that are about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Once we have all the squares cut up, I'm gonna add in half a cup of cornstarch into a bowl, 2 eggs into a separate bowl, and beat them together. To coat each square of the milk mixture, I'm gonna first dust it off in the cornstarch, and then into the egg wash. And as you finish each one, transfer it into a dish with some parchment paper. And continue to do this until all your squares of milk are coated. And you want to make sure to be very gentle here. These milk squares are very fragile and they easily break apart. All right, for the final step, let's fry up our squares of milk. I'm gonna grab a small fry pan, heat it with a medium heat, and add in half a cup of sunflower oil. After heating the oil between 3 to 4 minutes and it's nice and hot, I'm going to start adding the coated squares of milk into the pan. You want to cook these in batches to not overcrowd the pan. After about 45 seconds to 1 minute, I'm going to start flipping them. You want them to have a beautiful light golden color. And after a total cooking time of 1.5 to 2 minutes, I'm going to start removing them from the pan and transferring them into a dish with some paper towels. And continue to fry up all your squares of milk until they're all done. Once all the squares of milk have been fried up, I'm going to coat each square in this sugar and cinnamon mix. This is a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar mixed in with 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. And check it out, our Spanish leche fritas then. Look how beautiful this turned out. Let's give it a try and see how it turned out. This leche frita looks insane. Here we go. It's so good. You're kind of just like, it's so good. I want to eat them all. You got that crusty exterior, and then the inside just kind of just melts in your mouth. As for the flavors, that lemon and that cinnamon really shine through. This is probably one of the best desserts I have from Spain. You guys saw it. Such simple ingredients, so easy to put together. The best part about this is when you make that milk dough, you can leave it in the fridge for up to 7 days. So you just cut up pieces and fry them as you want. You can have dessert of this stuff almost all week long. Guys, super easy to make. Absolutely beautiful flavors. Really quick before I go, a quick shout out to one of my patrons, Terry K. Clean. Again, Terry, thank you so much for all your support. I truly appreciate you. For the rest of you, if you're not with me on Patreon, consider becoming one. Help with ingredients and equipment to continue making videos like this. You'll find my Patreon link in the description box below and iCard above. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Till the next time, hasta luego.